Hey everyone, I know it's been a bit of a bit since I've streamed, but a lot of things were going on here. But we're back, and even better, it's the next episode of the Council. I've been waiting a while for this. Let's get everything loaded, everything started up, and I managed to pause things. So I'm pretty sure this is just a recap of episode one. But I'm really looking forward to since this. I'm just doing one final thing, and we'll be golden. Okay, so let Louis talk about what's going on.
But has
Well,
never wanted
everybody.
to tell me why. We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
Yeah, I would agree so far.
I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
See, they didn't ask me which episode I want to play. I just started things. Oh, manuscripts to equip. Let's see. Okay, I can't do those. Etiquette, logic. Well, I might as well. Well, let's see. Erudition, science. Pretty sure I've already used those. So let's start quest. And see what happens this time. I'm about to remember a bunch of shit. It's been a while. It's episode 2, Hide and Seek.
We meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night, and I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
What are you getting at? What act of violence?
We found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. She was
Nice.
brutally murdered, stabbed several times. I'll get straight to the point, Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yes, last night.
Surprise, surprise.
Do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
Let's see. Can't do that.
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and insisted that she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
She claimed she
Pretty sure.
saw my mother the previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will send someone as soon as possible. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So, then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new
It's a
information.
video game, that's how I would have known.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests and Justice will be
Shit,
done.
I didn't make it fast enough. I couldn't see the time bar.
Why's that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Well, that went
Of
better than
course.
I expected.
How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form
Wise
your own
move.
opinion.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi. So I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Right.
Well,
I'll get over there immediately.
let's see what we can find.
Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Ooh. That's nice. Cardinal. You have anything to add to this?
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams?
Yeah.
But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perrault. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
He'd be the first person I would suspect. I gotta see if I can remember. Okay. So this is gonna be a whole skill use free, display immunities, stores 2 effort points, cures negative. Okay. Before I go down, let's look around.
The
Don't
Nightmare
know.
painted by Fuseli in 1781.
Don't know when the next time we'll be up here.
White water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Huh. This must be one he's painting, judging by the paint set. It's not bad. Biggest question of all this is just... Ooh, what have we got here?
Which 4-letter word could open this chest?
Wait a minute.
Which 4-letter word could open this chest?
Yeah, I think I'm on to it. I just chose the wrong one. Nope. Huh. It's not Cain or Abel. Unless it's Abel, A-B-L-E. But... What's we got? Well, without much as far as context clues, I could stay there forever. There's another... Ooh, what's here? Key with an occult water symbol. Oh, okay. I think there's our context.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
There we go. Amber fragment. Okay. Handwritten note by Lord Mortimer. Pay... Ooh, we got 2 keys. These are all books. Emily's... The invitation... Oh, now is it going to be there? Nope. Alright. Well, let's head downstairs. Ooh, I didn't... There we go. Alright, let's see what we can discover about Adams' death. Oh, so that's where that is. I need to go way around things. I think before I investigate the guests, I need to check her room. Trying to remember which room. I got... Oh no, Adams' room was behind me. Okay, that was the room.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No,
Oh.
Nothing special.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
Yes, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Yes, that wasn't suspicious at all. Not much different from the last time we saw it. That's a little bit more disheveled. Ooh. That's different. Ooh, her eyes are bloodshot. Multiple stab wounds to the chest.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Question is... Won't matter which one I do, so let's go with science.
Look like they've been inflicted by a sharp object. Some of the lacerations have damaged vital organs, the heart, the right lung, which is perforated. Most of them weren't given with much force. She might even have survived. But the stab in the heart, though not all that deep, sealed her fate.
Yeah. Let's see.
Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. The scars
Ooh.
are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
That's unpleasant.
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Also a number of old scars. People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control.
Which we know a fair amount about her suffering.
The scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life. She had the Sigillum de Ameth tattooed on her, the symbol of the living God, written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age, unless her mother was a tutor. Symbol of Masons. What's that doing here?
Interesting choice. I don't have linguistics, so that doesn't help me. The scars don't tell us much more.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture.
Yeah.
She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
Definitely not nice.
She bled from the nose.
Um,
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
okay, I only get one choice on that.
What a strange smell. Her breath smells of alcohol and of laudanum. To relieve pain.
That makes sense.
No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
I gotta go with the cult.
Pinnacle's a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle. No marks or bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force.
Huh.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs.
Don't have that.
More
Start with the tattoos.
Similar to those on the rest of her body. Let's see. No trace of sexual assault or rape.
Well, that's what the body could tell us.
The blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh. The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
Could she have stabbed herself? Okay, is it going? Is
Bled to death.
Oh.
Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. There's a size like that here. Peru? Washington, maybe. Knocked over bottle of wine.
Can't.
I know that smell. It's laudanum. It must have been mixed with the wine directly in the bottle.
That would explain that. I mean, if she had a bunch of laudanum in her system, she wouldn't have felt a damn thing.
The blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Huh. Let's see. Box is this.
A chest with a half-circle pattern.
Nice. Amber. What's there? It's a
No
note.
tutored hand copied these notes. Looks like a healing method. Well, that's a pity. The writing is barely legible. Feet and hands are bound. A piece of cloth in the mouth prevents the tongue from being sectioned. It looks like preparation for an exorcism. Is Elizabeth really possessed? The note suggests binding the feet and hands, then blocking the jaws using a piece of cloth to prevent the tongue from being sectioned. That looks like a method to control an epileptic fit. I wonder if Elizabeth is the one being treated for that illness.
Thankfully, for ones that are free, I get to have both. Oh, god damn it. Everybody's favorite AI decided she wanted to interject. I didn't even know you were here.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be able to meet as planned on the first Sunday of May. I've been told that you're no better, and, unfortunately, your brothers and I are absolutely snowed under by the work.
Okay, this is the letter we found last time.
Clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
Yeah. It's convenient.
A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here?
It's like you said, she was wanting protection.
Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil.
Yep.
Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
This was here before.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. It's medieval Latin, well enough to translate a bit. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry.
Yep.
What tortured writing.
In fact, she wanted to keep it hidden.
June 11th, 1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold, as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside.
I remember that letter too.
August 24th.
Whoop.
30 November.
Okay.
1791. My dear sister, the cancellation of our reunion hit me like a stab to the heart. Father told me it was for your well-being, but I can't help but blame him. He claims that your condition has worsened and that it could be dangerous for both of us if we met. If only I knew where you were, believe me, I'd be at your side.
Enclosed talisman. Pistol. Well now, that's out of place.
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light. There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right.
It was for show.
We'll have to find its owner.
Which would sound more like Bonaparte.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God help us. Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good.
Well now. Let's see what else.
Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Negative alterations, immunities. I don't really want to burn another free skill use. What's this? Okay, I've got plenty of Devil's Thorn. Hello? I missed you earlier.
Huh. The talisman that I gave back to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck.
So, I think it's everything I can actually do here.
Has Sir finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Well, that was a jarring transition. Oh, wrong one. I want this. Okay, so what we got? Emerson's room. Bonaparte's room. Okay, there's a few rooms I just don't know the names for. Is there something on that table, or did I imagine that? Okay, I must have imagined it.
President George Washington.
Washington would seem the least likely, but by the same token, he's also got the most direct connection. Where am I? Okay, that's a door I can't use anyway. Turn that camera.
Huh, that's me.
Okay, so this is my room, which we don't need to check.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
See, I'm surprised it's not showing up on the... Maybe it's 'cause I haven't been in there.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Let's check Napoleon's room, which we've already done once at this point. Yeah, I remember...
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly.
Yeah, I remember that. Conquest. Alright, so... Nothing new there.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
Nothing there.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized.
Yeah, remember that.
Just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
So... That fits what we know.
Sir Jacques Peru?
Our other likely suspect. This is a long load.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
Now we'll use the free one.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit?
What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Interesting.
A pattern with 4 circles.
Hopefully whatever's in it's worth it. Ooh.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
No space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Okay, so at least I gained another free one. Keep looking. Oh, this one's not actually. Know if we shall meet again. At this point in time, I am a prisoner, snared by my own decisions. You must be protected. My future is lost without you, and you can still be saved. No matter how much bitterness you hold against me, you must know that I made a pact with the devil who I thought I could master. I thought I knew the monsters, but what I did for France is nothing compared to what they are capable of doing. Now I can't see any way out. The jaws are closing upon me. I love you now and forever. That would definitely make it seem like he's being set up.
Great. Honey.
Ooh, absolutely. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more wiggle room, which is awesome. Can I examine the boots?
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Huh. Hello? More golden elixir, which I have plenty of.
Please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as possible. I await your arrival. Lord William Mortimer.
So there was his invitation. Well...
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Let's see. Ooh. Okay.
Let's get right to it. Are you
Scotland immunity.
Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
Oh, but figure I'd have to ask the simple one first.
2 days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams. What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're investigator of the year. Have you taken a look at yourself, de Richet?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not!
Logic's locked, but I don't think that'll help me. Yeah, it's still locked. Fuck.
Go on. Keep going.
Finish what you came to do, then get out of my room.
Huh.
I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
Well.
Nice decor for a Revolutionary Tribunal judge's room.
Well, that was not the most fruitful encounter. Oh, I gotta reposition myself. So Bonaparte was not much help, and Peru wasn't either. Though he's definitely nervous. Go there. Let's just keep searching rooms.
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Volner. Well, that means something happens here. Maybe not. Hello. It's down here.
A ruble.
Where's Delicarum? Ooh. Thank you.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
True.
A table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Yeah. Zinc.
Golden elixir.
Well, that was not much use.
The four-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Well, that would have been the better use for it. Oh. Theatrum Chemicum. I'm at inventory mysterious notes. Okay. Leviathan, thoughts on art. Anything else in this room? Doesn't appear to be. And Volner is there. Let's take a look at some things before I...
Amber.
Nice.
The alchemist is an old man.
Oh, I gained another point that for focus. If only I had, only I could fill that up, that'd be awesome. Well, he doesn't have small feet either. Given their interest in the occult.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly. Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
Well, that was
I found
evasive.
Her dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Manipulation, psychology, questioning. Well... Oh man, I don't have enough. That's not really much help.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
Huh.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her.
But what does that matter? We both agree.
I don't have it. Damn it. Don't have diversion. And I don't have the points to give. Shit. I have one more point in it.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Damn. I already searched the room. It's not gonna reveal much more. Thing of interest laying around here. Where am I at? I'm back at Adams's room. So I suppose should look to the first president of the United States, George Washington. See what's here. Only Bonaparte hasn't been in his room, which is interesting. Everybody else has been. Golden elixir, which I got plenty of. Let's see, talk to him, but we're not going to do that just yet.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young.
The question is, what is Mortimer after out of this?
What we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
He seems to be building everybody up, making all these countries have putting people in positions of power, and all thanks to him, seemingly not asking for anything in return, but he's getting something out of this. Question is what? Oh, thank you. Damn, I'm tired again. Well, at least I know where some more golden elixir is. Ooh, what's here?
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Nice. I'll absolutely take that and that. So it wasn't much running around Washington's room. So let's talk with him.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes. She came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Huh.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Yeah. Possibly addiction, too.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. Well, you couldn't have known that her days were numbered.
Part of me wants to use it, but I've got so little focus. I want to keep hold of it.
Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
I ended that. So at least I'm a little bit better off. It's Washington's room. Alright, I need to just keep checking rooms, if for no other reason than supplies. Cardinal. Ooh. I guess because Mortimer told me that he'd been with the Cardinal. Yes, this is my room. So, what's the next room? I imagine I'll probably have to go downstairs. Okay. That would be our other non-suspect. Well, let's just check Emily's room. Should have gone here. This would have been much better.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
So, it's the crazy one. Crazy we put in.
Children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice.
We know she's dealt with orphanages.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. P.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Interesting decoration choices.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds. Painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
What do we find?
Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Alright, what else can we find?
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Yeah, and this would... Because I don't remember my years. I can name you all the kings and queens easy enough. But this must be after George III's madness really started to take hold, and before George IV was old enough to become regent and act in his father's name. So yeah, there just came a point when he could not do jack shit. Duchess, you can inform King George of the Holy Father's backing. We shall assist you with financing the recruitment of the regiments of emigrant royalists to fight against France. Your friend, His Eminence, Piaggi. Okay.
Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell. 2 coils circle the lock.
Ooh. Oh, it's free anyway. It starts off until I look over it. I have to remember that.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today. He's a passionate young French soldier for whom Mortimer predicts a promising future. Take heed. He is a man of conviction, which to my mind makes him potentially dangerous. As for Sarah de Richet, what more is there to say? You already know each other. She was apparently invited by Lord Mortimer.
So they trust Washington. Bonaparte's still up in the air. And our mother doesn't think much.
Right. I've retrieved everything.
Ooh, Carmelite water. Awesome.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
Ooh.
Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Well then. What's here? Okay, I got plenty of golden elixir. And nothing else I can check here, so let's talk to Emily.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
She had a bunch of laudanum in her system she wouldn't have.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set upon her like that. It must have been a crime of passion. Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well,
Which is the right way.
You absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening. You only had to join me, you know.
I know.
I should have.
especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least.
See, there's something...
We found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since the blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject.
Yeah.
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily.
There's things that don't add up.
I won't keep you, Emily.
To it.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Like he says, small hand, which suggests a woman's hand, but that was gripped tightly. But the boot print was enormous. The odds of a male perpetrator being able to fill both of those quantities is pretty low. So it would make it seem like the boot print would have come from somebody either who'd come across it or was trying to stop her, or found out about it after the fact. So I've been in Bonaparte's, there was nothing there. Before I go downstairs, just to make sure for some reason I didn't overlook something. Because yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah. So if it was something, there's something we've missed, or some piece of information we don't have yet. Can I not go downstairs? If I can't go downstairs, then where the hell's Bonaparte? Maybe I just can't go down that side. Let's check every avenue first. No, can't do anything there. Okay, that was a room I couldn't go into. Same thing with this one. Those were the 2 we knew hadn't supposedly hadn't done anything, or with Mortimer, so therefore couldn't be on the... Where's this one go to? Obviously it goes upstairs, but... This is just odd. Okay. So this leads back here. I don't really have anything here. At least that transition was kind of quick. Alright, so... I've checked.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
That's Volners. So where the hell is Bonaparte? We're back to Elizabeth's room. Just should take another check through. See if any of this new information didn't reveal anything. But yeah, there's definitely something going on. Things don't add up. Definitely make it seem like Louis' mother...
No space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Okay, right. Golden elixir. So I checked the body. So there shouldn't be anything here. It's going through the same animation, so... I think her eyes are bloodshot. Oh, there's also the blood up against the wall, like she'd been held there. There's so many seemingly contradictory information amongst all this.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax.
It's the same thing, making sure there's nothing
First
new
sight,
in the
seems to
examination
contradict.
side of this. Already...
It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle, as if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
That's interesting. Don't really...
Wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
I already made the choice. Blood in her right hand. Yeah, it would almost seem like Elizabeth stabbed herself. And somebody possibly tried to stop her. Like she had an major fit, but epileptic fit wouldn't likely cause it, but she thought she was possessed. Found the journal.
Huh. The talisman that I gave back
Right.
to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck.
Okay. Clock. That letter. Huh. Can't go downstairs. Checked everybody's rooms that I could. And Bonaparte's not been found. Unless he was upstairs and I didn't notice. So... my best bet is try and go upstairs. So I need to go back this way. Volner was concerned. Could it be that he had come in to try and talk to her and found her in her fit, like she was trying to... We know she cut herself before. Could she have been taking it to another level? Could that be why he was so nervous? So there's so much information here that's can't prove one way or another. Whereas Peru seemed to think he basically was standing on the gallows with the rope around his neck already. This is an interesting conundrum. And again, there's information missing. In fact, he has a "This is Sparta" pit at such a high floor. Biaggi. Or his servants. Oh, thank you.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Well then.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
Cat would seem more likely with what we know.
Knowing my mother, she would be the cat.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far. Yet he told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to reach an understanding.
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean. He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least.
Well then.
Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Looking for a buyer.
She was looking for someone.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
Oh, God, I don't remember.
I can't remember exactly. Something or other.
Von Wollner?
No, not your friend, Mr. Von Wollner.
there's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Huh.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she
He's
didn't
not
get
wrong.
started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the Third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are
Good reason to.
worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister.
Ooh.
And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg
So he
your
knows
pardon?
about Emma.
Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Well.
The room was just opposite Mortimer's study.
Which, that's going to be way around the corner. Am I facing the right direction? Yeah, I am. I don't remember. I don't have the house layout down pat yet. Oh, I did at one point, and then it's been a while between episodes. Didn't realize telling him what I told him would end my investigation. But yeah, I didn't really have enough to accuse any one person. There was a lot that... Oh. Camera's slow to pan around. That's its worst. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so... Oh. I'm an idiot. I went all this way when I needed to just walk across the way. That's what I'm assuming. So yes, we've confirmed his visions, which is good. But it means we also know that Mortimer knows about, you know, the twins.
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is on to us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So give us a bit of reserve.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Nothing around here.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion can be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
So we're definitely going to be looking at the paintings, but that wasn't a sword. Hello.
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key. Open sesame.
Well, thankfully I've got lockpicking down.
It's
It
open.
was locked from the other side. So whoever got out... Let's see. More royal jelly.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Oh boy, now we're getting into some interesting territory. Devil's Thorn.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
What do we find?
It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni. St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. Well, we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. The New Testament.
Oh boy. This is gonna be our info, but I'm missing information and I don't remember my Bible well enough.
This volume dates from the first edition by Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. The pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible.
Yeah?
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Elixir. Ooh, amber fragment. Okay, I need to consulting my notes.
St. Paul, painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword.
Okay.
Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently.
I can't skip it.
There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the
Your reminder.
11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Let's see. It's so specific.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Oh man. There's gotta be something particular.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
I checked one thing twice, just to make sure.
Road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Okay. Dang it. So I can't see the one. There we go. Maybe that'll be better. There. 11 twice.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
Oh, wait. A note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say?
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle.
What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Well...
the painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
A safer way to communicate.
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle, that was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
Dang it. There we go. Let's do this right.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Hidden behind the youngest apostle. Still missing something. Wait a minute, did I examine this painting? I did. Okay. About the code again. I don't have logic. I've not earned anything yet. Damn it. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. I've not managed to gain enough there.
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle, that was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
Yes, we know.
That's right. St. John is often credited with writing about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. He's also known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give.
Okay, that I already knew.
Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
It's gotta be in Revelations. I need specific. I need to go.
I guess I'll just come back later.
I need to remember exactly what it said.
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
So I could go through every single one of them. Let's make sure.
Saying with a loud voice, "Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing."
No.
And a voice came out of the throne, saying, "Praise our God, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great." And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
He who hears the angels, which would be this. Have to be.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
It's gonna be 3. 1.
It must be the group of pilgrims mentioned from before. I guess maybe the city of Corinth is a reference to the epistle from Corinthians in the Bible.
Well, let's see what we can find. Let's try to figure out the number that's going to be. So I could sit there.
I guess I'll just come back later.
And go through it time and again. I hate to use it, but I'm gonna have to.
Pilgrims, if I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
Well, thankfully I have what I needed. Let's see.
Now, therefore,
There is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet
Prussian.
up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. Prussian? Volner? I must have a word with him. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Follow the first group to Mark will reveal the answer to them. Okay, so...
Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
No.
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan.
Hate having to kind of do this.
And as they did eat, Jesus took bread, and blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to them, and said, Take, eat. This is my body. And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet.
Tomorrow, follow the first group to Mark. Reveal the answer. I got... Wait a minute.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. There's nothing worth noticing here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. Sentence in Hebrew. Choosing the Hebrew alphabet is no coincidence. It's got to be a reference to the Bible. No, nothing of value here. There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
See, Mark. Hebrew 8. Man, this is...
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee.
Maybe I didn't have the right information. Okay, no. Well, wait a minute. 8.
Thou hast put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him.
Well.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help?
If tonight is not possible, let's see tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him.
Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Let's see. New pilgrims near Paul.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
St. Paul.
Okay, this was
sword.
Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently.
Yeah, and it's the same information, damn it.
Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul
Well,
spoke.
okay, I can't skip over that. Damn it.
Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
Damn it, I don't have logic either. Damn it. Oh.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
Let's see. In fact, they've hidden these notes so well in this Bible as a testament. Let's see. I'm back on his tracks. Ow. Make sure. Shouldn't be.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Hmm. Okay, so that would have been the 4.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
Well, I find more 4s.
In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him. Not in the lustful desire, even as the Gentiles who knew not God.
Damn it. To his left, the company of pilgrims have joined him. Paul understood understood. Only the axe counted. He went back in his tracks. Put your confirmation to his left. In the company of the pilgrims that joined him. There's a 4 written there, but I can't even be sure that was that number is actually applied to this situation. Oh. I overlooked that. I'm gonna have to keep digging. He went back in his tracks. To his left. Hebrew.
Thou hast put all things under his feet.
No, I
For
checked
that
that already.
He put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him.
Yeah. That's how we found the last note. Justice verse 8. Paul understood that only the axe counted.
Not in the lustful desire.
Okay, yeah.
Even as the Gentiles.
Oh God, this is. This is the hardest part of all this is digging all this out. Oh right, Devil's Thorn. Hello.
Amber.
Woohoo! Am I not seeing?
This only would I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after God.
I can't go through. I mean, I could go through all of them, but there's got to be something simple. And the reminding me of the clues isn't adding that much to this, other than just tell me the pilgrims have joined him. See, the downside of this is a lot of this is requiring biblical knowledge I just don't have off the top of my head.
But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed.
I don't want to do this the hard way, but
now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men.
oh man, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to. Oops. Let's see. Let's see. That doesn't exactly help. There's not much on here. Seen people talk about it, but not... Let's see. Yeah, nobody's said much on this yet that I've seen. So it's a matter of, there's so much trial and error that I need Paul. Seems right. But
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Don't have that.
Strange. St. Paul is shown twice, unlike the other disciples. So we have the figure 11 twice underlined.
Okay, we already... This is already known.
Pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Damn it. I think I am gonna just have to trial and error some of this.
Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for all have sinned.
I hate the fact that it kicks me out after each one.
There is none that understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God.
Okay, yeah, heard that one. 11:11 we've done.
We know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
And for those of you who are actually sitting through on this, I'm sorry that going through this like this, but
the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
So at this point, I'm just so
If we have hope
so
in
backwards
Christ in this life only, we are of all men most miserable.
God, I wish it wouldn't kick me out.
It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. Prussian.
Okay, that was the
Volner?
The
I must
note.
have a word with him. And that first group of pilgrims. How many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit not be more glorious?
The fact this takes so much time.
Now I pray to God that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, for we are as reprobates. Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen...
So I already did this because of number 4.
The things which are not seen are eternal. For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ, in them that are saved, and in them that perish.
God, this is this is the worst part so far.
But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed.
fact that it's so kind of...
This only would I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith?
It's fitting, but so esoteric.
It is God who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace.
For
I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God.
This is just so rough.
Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who think only of earthly things.
God, it's just...
Even as it is meet for me to think this of you all, because I have you in my heart, inasmuch as both in my bonds, and in defense and confirmation of the gospel, ye all are partakers of my grace.
At this point, there's no extra clues. There's no more... There's gotta be something.
In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him.
Hebrews. God damn it. I'm gonna have to look again. I'd okay, that's not it. Can't believe somebody streamed this yesterday. Or somebody made a video on it yesterday. Woo! God damn it. Dropped my... Just about... I dropped the laptop there for a second. God damn it. Well... That's... I missed which one it was because
And he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E.
I would never have guessed that.
But first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him.
Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself.
I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Let's see. It was it trade unlocked? Yeah, theologian. Gain a point in occultism. That was fucking rough. And for the record, the only reason I managed to get to that one, which it's as rough as that is, it was looking up on YouTube, and don't know their logic on it. They said, you know, they had their choices in it, but it was on the channel Geek Remix and Two Girls One Let's Plays walkthrough, part 2 of their walkthrough of episode 2. Cause yeah, the all corresponds to my mother. And he had discovered my mother's message. Did not understand my mother's message. Damn. You have 4 points to put. Put 1 in diversion, linguistics, politics, conviction, etiquette, vigilance, psychology, logic. Okay, leaves me with 1 point. Agility, psychology, vigilance. I think that's as good as I'm gonna do. And there's an achievement. Complete the 5th quest. Okay, I have 3 manuscripts I can do. Politics, erudition, linguistics, questioning. We'll go with questioning. Give me 1 second, everyone. I need to do 2 things real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully, things go a little more smoothly from this point forward.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Believe I need to go this way. I was correct.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look.
Oh boy.
I started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay. I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
I'm gonna tell her, though.
There's something else.
Go on, then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It
Whew.
seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Why would she do that?
I don't know, Louis, but I'll find out. You can count on that.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see. Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
Well, that went better than I thought it might have.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest. But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia. He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Ooh.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear. As if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this
It's technically how democracy works.
This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richer.
Are you related to Sarah de Richer?
Sarah
Someone
is
else
his mother, Duke.
who knew his mother.
Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Interesting turn of events. Find out what Volner is hiding.
Spare a moment, please, sir.
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too.
Of course.
Huh.
I
Oh,
heard
boy.
about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Let's see.
To hear you speak, you seem to know my mother well.
Not really. We met for the first time
Vulnerable to diversion.
on this very spot, some weeks back. We had a very pleasant discussion. She's an exceptionally learned lady, with a good head for business. No need for me to tell you that.
I agree.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Absolutely, but I was hoping that you could tell me more about it.
Well, she was planning to sell me a very old book. I will make no secret of the fact that I am passionate about the subject. And when Sarah spoke to me about it, her account literally had me enthralled. I can think of nothing else since.
He wants
you
the
might
book.
have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
As my mother's got so many old books, I'm afraid I won't be able to...
Oh, it's easy. You can't mistake this one. It's an ancient grimoire, composed of 7 parts. Each one is closed under lock and key. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. If you find it, you mustn't tamper with it. You see?
That's unusual.
Unfortunately, that doesn't ring a bell. I'll look again, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute.
It's being kept
I was
from your
very
possession.
surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchet in Paris. Do you know?
Indeed. One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. Precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest person.
Woo!
What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No, you can't.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity. Mr. von Volner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Volner. You're the one who von Burchard was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Ooh, this is tough.
Lord Mortimer.
Oh, you are way off the mark. There's nothing more for us to say. Goodbye.
Damn. More clues about my mother's note. I believe I need to go out this door. Napoleon.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet
Nothing
up
really
again
helps
later?
me.
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Okay, I need to find His Eminence. My best bet. Yeah. So, the fact that the book that they're looking for is not a book that should be found. Okay, question is, where is everybody? Washington. Wait for it to load. Yes, this is definitely... The episode's been good, but that one puzzle, it required such esoteric knowledge without enough clues, without enough definitive clues, that, you know, it's really awkward. You know, having it, you have to think about things and everything is one thing, but it just seemed like there was just a piece, a major piece missing. Oh.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Your Eminence, I haven't been following the case. I'm sure that the order did everything in its power. Unfortunately, you know the situation in Paris, and, well, it's chaotic at best. Anything can happen in those revolutionary tribunals.
The king is the official representative of God on earth, my son.
Your Eminence, France has become a secular state. The king was just another citizen to them. He refused to admit his errors, looked down upon them, and attempted to escape. What did he expect?
France has lost all reason, Louis.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Louis, I'm counting on you. If you don't find Sarah before my departure, I must ask you to give me back the letter I gave you.
Well, don't worry about that, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
Well,
if I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her, and in the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help, but I can't think of anything else.
You never
Something.
know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence.
I gotta go and see it just in case, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence.
It's something,
I shan't
anyway.
take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Yes, it's the RPG elements have been really good for this, but it's the fact that it seems like that should have given us we should be able to use that to have our character deduce a bit more knowledge, be able to piece things together, because otherwise it's literally just sitting there going through things one at a time until you find the right one. And that would take it absolutely forever. Okay, so which is my simplest way? Make a left. And the cat did exactly what we thought she might. She didn't knock the damn thing over, but she tore the lid off. Sorry, my girlfriend's up, and I was informing her onto the nature of the egg incubator we currently have set up, and events that happened last night while she slept. Uh-oh. Well, I was kind of nappy, so there was some things like this, but I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything until after it got good and light, and it was definitely gurgled, but, you know, I could hear it, you know, pretty distinctly, but it was quiet in here, so I didn't hear anything in, you know, the time period we were going after, but Jack was also on TV, so, you know, that might have drowned out anything that might have been there, so I failed you. Yes, long story. I'm not going to get into it at the moment. We spent so much time.
What did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
First, let's check out The Nightmare.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
What's this?
That's what you generally feed birds.
And the bird crowed, so that bird must be a part of this. Question is, to what end?
A mynah bird.
Well, Waldo, is your master good? Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting.
Speaking of the bird did nothing. Hello, what have we got here?
Let's take a closer look.
Dang it. Can't imagine you would give the bird chocolate. Hello. What's this? Well then. Get you. Oh.
Aha! I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Big ass lock. Too. Oh, thank you.
Complex mechanism. Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. It gets stuck on number 9.
Dang it. Find the code. Yeah.
There are 2 dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
154.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle.
Strange. All the dates are all wrong. They indicate events that took place in the year 5000 and something? Wait, did I miss something?
The author is Pierre Amédée de la Salle, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris.
Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Anno Lucis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that calendar starts in March.
We saw that painting earlier, so maybe... Ooh. Back up.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not gonna affect things. What was the other date?
Hey, there are 2 dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
54. There's gotta be something in here.
The painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period.
No.
Coup de Lance by Paul Rubens.
Didn't help that I'm shy on.
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anno Lucis, 5190. That's a funny date.
5190. Which that, it did say the third tumbler was having an issue at 9. $51.90. Let's see.
Damn it. It doesn't work. 5190. I was pretty sure it was right. Maybe I didn't use the right dating system.
Added 4,000 years, so would that be 1190? Well,
doesn't work, damn it.
Nope.
I really thought I was close. 1190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4,000? I must have missed a subtlety.
So at least that part. Let's take a look at
What
options.
have we got here? Oh, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it.
Temporary exhibition. According to the Freemason calendar, as you may have well guessed, you must remember to subtract 4,000 years if you don't want the public to be surprised at the dating. It's in March, not January. Just playing. To Liberty had the spear touched up so it better corresponds to the actual spear. Last month. Counts for the year 1792. Reduce wood consumption. Okay. 1190. Should be...
A painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Damn it. Politics is locked. Okay, so 5,000 didn't do it. I wonder.
A myna bird.
Tell me the door code. Here I am talking to a bird. Shame on me.
Well, it's worth a shot. Wait a minute. Must be something in... Because it gives the 2 dates.
Hey,
which
two
are
dates on this
off.
1154 AD and 5154 AL.
Okay, no, so that's right. That fits with what we know. Damn it, I'm shy. This was the 5190, right? So...
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anno Lucis, 5190. It's a funny date.
Wait a minute. Calendar starts in March, I think he said. So if this is the... Just question is, well, let's do the simple way first. That's what it was. The calendars are off just slightly because the months don't start right. It's like I knew I was on the right path because he made a comment on it. It was just a matter of figuring out what was wrong. It's like, am I going a year forward or a year back? Oh boy. This is something.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Mortimer.
Dear Lord Mortimer, I regret to inform you that our plans in Poland are set to fail. Russia and Prussia are working in cohort to bleed our dear Poland. We have no power here. We continue to maintain pressure as best we can on the Prussian border as we agreed in order to occupy Frederick Williams' army, but I do not know how long we can keep it up. Your devoted servant, Elfried Bauer. Oh, it's one from John Adams. I'm waiting to ask you to persuade President Washington not to sign the Fugitive Slave Act as it stands. We must absolutely legislate on a national level and not allow every state to choose their policy regarding slaves. It was initially intended to resolve a conflict between Pennsylvania and Virginia. By signing it, we risk legislating the hunting of blacks. More and more men of little faith are becoming slave hunters, and unable to find any slaves on the run, they kidnap the first black they come across, which they pass off as a wanted runaway. The situation threatens to quickly degenerate. Thank you in advance. P.S. Say hello to my daughter Elizabeth for me. South Africa or South America? It's Africa.
It shows the forces present in Africa. This is unexpected activity in this sector. It looks like there are also many unknowns, even for Mortimer.
I don't have politics, so that doesn't help me. Ooh. So will reach you. My hours are numbered. My printing house has been confiscated and I'm imprisoned in the fortress of Schlichelberg. Yeah. By chance, you could intervene in my favor of being eternally in your debt. The Tsarina Catherine should not be long in banning all Golden Order lodges from her territory. Her horizon has become considerably darker. Hope you can help me, your friend, Nikolai Novikov. It's Catherine the Great.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimore.
Oh.
He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in. And goes on, there are hundreds of good ways to live life, but you only need one to convince the masses that it's the only one possible. The author isn't letting any ethical principles get in his way, is he?
No. What was that trait? He's not telling me. Honest shepherd. 1 point manipulation. Let's see what else we got. The gift has been delivered. Timur Shah Durrani, King of Afghanistan, of Punjab, of Sindh, of Masad, and of Kashmir, shall not retain his title much longer. His son Zaman will succeed him as planned. He will then be able to resume negotiations. K. So, global manipulation, which we already figured out.
This shows the forces present in America.
My dear friend, with thanks for your services rendered and help in the fight against the Spanish and the conquest of Oran, a ship bound for Marseilles in France has been chartered. Hidden aboard are a few corpses infected with the plague that's decimating our country at this moment. Be very careful when handling these boxes, because if inadvertently opened, you're spreading the disease all over France. Mohammed El Kabir. Well then. Sign agreement with your proposal. This agreement shall be known as the Buttonwood Agreement. If you recall the place where we gathered when you met us for the first time, you'll understand why this name was given. Please find enclosed a list of my colleagues. Thank you for your help. We should be able to meet at my place, the Tontine Coffee House. I look forward to seeing you as soon as possible. Hugh Smith. There's a lot to search. Ooh. Thank you for your words. I do understand your situation. I regret to confront you militarily, but if the situation obliges me to declare war, then do what you think of it. Under your advisement and with a weary heart, I am off to meet with the coalition that opposes you. Hopes of serving you again, George, King of Hanover, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Which, to be specific, this is George the First. And this adds more confusion to this because, of course, given that it shows the picture of Lord Mortimer that we saw, which it seemed to be him, given the year 1191 in the Julian calendar, and this is 1783. If he's got correspondence from King George the First, and we saw evidence earlier that King George the Third was on here. This is collaborating to, events that, said there's a much stranger events going on here. Map of Europe.
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However,
is that true?
A large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer.
That's right, he's French. this one. William, whatever your projects, it would seem that our father is against leaving you with a grip on Europe. Russia will soon commit itself to the coalition against your dear France. But you can't resist for long. I beseech you, William, not persist. You're tearing our family apart. Your loving brother, G. I shall come to your conference, but do not think that holding it at the present moment is conducive. Okay, that's adding even more confusion to this whole situation. Dearest Lord Mortimer. Oh boy, now we have an emperor. A Chinese emperor. As a friend of China, rest assured that you'll be rewarded for your information. You need not worry about the scheming against us from Great Britain. The representative, Mr. McCartney, will leave with no hope of arrangements involving us.
It's locked.
Devil's Thorn. So your plans to intervene in Belgium are to go ahead and sit down. I'm to occupy the Prussian army. Your delivery of cannons to Valmy has ensured our victory. As agreed, I have notified the King of Prussia of the invasion plans of Castine and the Army of the North. I'll keep the Austrians out of Belgium. I am to quickly return to Paris as I sense the fate of our King Louis is about to be decided dishonorably, and it is impossible for me not to intervene. Should you have any missives to give me, I invite you to go by, as per usual, our friend Monsieur Peru. Sincerely yours, Charles-Francois de Moray, General of the Army of the North. Yes, which you weren't in here for this point. They've just found out news that the day before where we're set is when Louis was beheaded. By quote-unquote fair trial, which was decided by one vote.
Map of the Orient, indeed.
Dearest Lord Mortimer, I regret to inform you it will soon be impossible to ignore pressures from the Russians. The Tsarina Catherine has every intention of supporting the Count of Provence and will recognize him as the regent in the Kingdom of France once King Louis has disappeared from the political stage. I'm sorry to announce bad news, but expect dark times ahead. So it does sound like the way all these notes are talking, Lord Mortimer has put a lot on France. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, so there's England. This is south of India. Let's see if you have the courage to face me alone.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Go find your mother. Well, there's still so much more to discover here.
Formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Ooh. Humanae Corpus Fabrica.
Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies. Here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then? Little surgeon's perfect collection.
I don't have linguistics.
Obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton.
I can't observe anything else.
Pigeon, probably.
Skeleton missing a hand.
By the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh, his right hand is missing.
Is it that he's named his anatomical skeleton, or is it that this is a anatomical skeleton that came from somebody named Gustav? Well, we might know something just now. As agreed, I've changed your old lock for one of my inventions, drawing inspiration from your doctor friend, Mr. Guillotin. Here's the model of your new lock if you appreciate my prototype. It's difficult to imagine how it all fits together, but it will be located in the middle of the present door. The aim being to alter nothing of the door's functionality, but to add a bit of spice. Depending upon the lineup of the wheels, the aforementioned lock will open or will punish the snooper whose faith is not strong enough. I call my invention the Judgment of Faith because if the snooper is unable to resist opening it, they will be punished. Hope you appreciate the irony of the situation. Gustave Montrant, Master Architect. Why do I have a feeling this was Gustave, and he got punished? He reached into the lock and lost his hand. I could be reading into things. It's hard to say. But, just based on the fact that information is together.
That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages.
Yes. But the idea is the lock is inspired by guillotine, and then suddenly reaches in. Yes, and the fact that the one is missing the hand. It would seem to go together, but
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Be assured of my entire devotion. As agreed, the Vendée peasantry will soon rise up. My network is striving to increase the pressure on the masses. The decision of the Assembly, which consists of voting the civil constitution of the clergy, is inflaming the region. People overwhelmingly reject the priests and swear loyalty to the state. If you can ensure that the convention will administer the final blow to the people, it shall be resolved. Without wishing to direct you, a forced recruitment for a faraway conflict would be a perfect way to arouse the people definitively. Devoted servant Francois Man, the political machinations going on here is key with an occult fire symbol. So I've got fire, water, and earth. Inventory. Fire, earth. Yeah, fire, earth, and water. I'm missing the air key.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
He's immune to sciences, so he knows his science.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Key with the occult symbol of water. Collector coin. Several collector coins. Ooh. Dang it. Dang it. That's a lot of coins. Speaking of. Right. I don't know what they'd be under. Doesn't really matter at this point. But my dearest friend, our plans are going ahead wonderfully well. The Coinage Act has been voted. Your project of founding the very first Bank of America should not be delayed and will probably be called Union Bank. As for the construction of the White House, it is still... I think this is a misspelling. It's still due to begin in October. It must be due. I'll accept no delays. You can trust me on this. Hope to see you soon. Thomas Jefferson, Secretary of State. So, that would seem to corroborate stuff we've known, that Mortimer is working behind Washington's back.
Nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
That can't be what I think it is.
Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais. Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
They're all highs.
It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question.
To the left, temperance. That announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the Emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Well, there's one more on this table. The tiger is dying. On your demand, I have attacked Travancore and personally cut the throats of as many Englishmen as possible, though without help from the French. Cannot hold them off much longer. My forces are rapidly diminishing in spite of your new rockets. Help us. Sultan of Mysore. Ooh. This is... Oh, hello.
An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Nice. Very nice. In fact, so I can never be sure. I can't tell on the historical accuracy of the design in the film version of it. But yes, an iron mask that looks oddly familiar. Not that, you know, if you look into it, the idea of a prisoner in an iron mask was not that terribly uncommon. It was done for a variety of reasons. He also has the occult, alchemical table.
Alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
Which one's circled? I'm not sure. It must not be that super important because of the fact that the last time we saw that it was mentioned which one it was. So this is locked. So it means I have to go out the way I came in.
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Uh-oh. I didn't think it was going to automatically just
like
go...
the same mechanism as the one on the other side. It looks too easy. It could be a trap. The mechanism passes through the wall. The wheels are the same on both sides. Chances are the combination I used on the other side works on this side too. Looks like the same as the one on the other side.
Gonna take the free skill use for this.
Cylinders rotate on the same central axis, so when I enter a number on one side, it corresponds to another one on the other side.
Yes. That would make sense. So, was it 1191? I'm trying to think of what that would be on the opposite side of... Goes from 0 to 9. So, 10 numbers. So it should be 5 off? Remember, there's 0 too. 0 through... Yeah. 10 numbers, that means whatever's on one, the 5th digit away should be on the other side. So if it was 1191, and we have to go from that opposite side, that means this one should be 6. Because they're upside down. Oh boy, I'm going to think about that. Wait. Yeah. 1191. This one should be the 6. And 9, it would be 4 because it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Zero. I do not know for sure.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Oh, well, it's telling me the same thing. Whew. Thank you, logic. Jesus. I was nervous on that one.
Well, better not dwell on it then.
Master of Escape. What does that give me? Methodical, gain 1 point in vigilance. Honest. 1 point in subterfuge. Find the origin of the sword left by your mother. Found the nightmare. I got to know Waldo. That was... I could have met Peru under strange circumstances. Okay, that was an alternate path. I didn't fail anything. It was just another way I could have. I got out of Mortimer's secret study without any trouble. That means that could have gone badly. Yeah. I have a feeling Gustav got in there trying to remember how to get out and had something wrong. Because reach out, go to pull lock, and off goes the hand. That would seem fitting, which is why I was really worried was about to happen. Well. Okay, 4 points to give. Okay, it gives me a point in everything. So, now I have the ability to use a little bit in everything if I have the points to give. So the question becomes, I have 1 more point available. Where do I put it? What have I got that's close? Psychology, questioning. I can get level 2 questioning if I do that. Okay. Oh, there's another achievement. The Nightmare. Okay. I need another 3 books. I can't see because of that. Take point in diversion, erudition, occultism, science. Erudition, etiquette, science. Sure, stay out of there. I've got plenty in occultism, but I'll take science. I'll take etiquette. So I believe this is the final chapter of this episode coming up.
This note is about a
Talent
meeting
Jack of all
with
trades.
Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. All right, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
Find out the origins of the sword.
Joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them.
Oh.
We must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long has he been trying to collect all the spears?
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
I was wondering if you might have seen an object like this here at the manor.
What are you playing at, de Richet?
I'm afraid I can't help you, my son. Ask someone who knows the manor better than I do. One of the servants, for example. One of them is bound to help you.
Thank you for your advice, Your Eminence. I didn't mean to spy on you, but you caught my attention.
Let's see. 3.
You brought spears as well, then?
What? Did Mortimer ask you to bring him holy spears too?
Yes, but I thought I was the only one. How many of them have you brought, then?
18 in all. any relic even remotely to do with them, in fact.
18 spears? How many of them exist in all?
No one knows. Especially as there is only one authentic one, of course. That all adds to the mystery, don't you think?
Well, please leave us, monsieur. His Eminence and I wish to finish our discussion alone.
Thank God I'm good with manipulation. He's very susceptible to it. Sounds like, if I had to guess, replicas of the Lance of Longinus. Maybe downstairs. I know there's at least one servant down there.
I am sorry, sir, but the conference room is under preparation and is consequently inaccessible to guests.
Could you perhaps help me?
What can I do for you, sir?
Where did this sword come from?
From the garden, sir. That sword belongs to one of the statues in the garden.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it, sir.
Okay. So which way is it to the garden? Can't go to that room. Library, dining hall, Great Hall of Zeus, forecourt, small salon, garden. Okay. Must have to go outside. Hello. Well, yes, but it's just the where outside. That's the Devil's Thorn. Whoops. Why didn't it? Okay, this is the door I want. Since entering the house, I've not been outside of it. So, I only know one way out, but that does not mean that there's not another. It's taking a bit to load, so that means something's going to be happening out here. Oh, right. I'm way on the other side of this. Unless... Okay. This is to the garden. So that was easy enough. Thankfully. We could do other things too. Well,
The sword probably came from this garden, but what could it have been used for?
okay, sword. It's got to belong to a statue, but...
Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth.
Yes.
Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. I guide this sword that will kill the monster. If I recall the Iliad, Ariadne is none other than the daughter of Minos and Pasiphae.
Yep.
She was in love with Theseus and helped him in his quest to kill the Minotaur in return for a promise of marriage if he defeated the monster. She gave him a reel of thread so that he could find his way back through the labyrinth, which was famous for being unsolvable. But once the beast was slain, the gallant was quick to abandon her on an island. Turns out heroes are not what they once were.
Yes.
Let's see.
That was pretty on the point.
A crack as long as my finger.
I don't know if that's where it belongs. So the question is, where does the thread lead? Leads through. Means I gotta go around. So the direct path. Oh, hello.
Well, Monsieur de Richet, what brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur Peru, will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I bid you good luck. You'll need it.
I forgot about his immunity. I had a bonus to questioning. It did not help me in this case. Okay, so that leads back around. Is that another coin?
A Chinese
They're everywhere.
coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cache.
Okay, can't go that way, which means it's gotta be this. No? Apparently. Is this section just completely cut off? Doesn't make any sense. No, I have to go around the back side. If I had to guess, that would make that statue Theseus, which it continues on. Yes, the story of the Minotaur is absolute classic.
He's the architect of the labyrinth, and if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus.
And part of the reason the Minotaur exists.
I am the architect of my own demise.
Yeah.
Architect and genius inventor, he built the labyrinth for Minos to imprison the Minotaur. I seem to recall that he told Ariadne how to get out of the labyrinth by tying a thread to himself. So, Theseus managed to exit the labyrinth without trouble once the beast was dead. And when Minos found him, he threw him into his own labyrinth along with his son Icarus. Every action causes a reaction.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a crack in this statue too. The crack is thin and about as long as a finger.
So let's see. This definitely leads to the center of the labyrinth.
I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there. What is that? Looks like a sort of opening mechanism.
Huh.
Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Oh, same thing. Nope.
It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities. It looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it.
I'm pretty sure part of this is getting the sword in the right spot. Question is, which one's right? This would be Theseus.
Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. I seem to recall he took the decision to confront the Minotaur. He killed the beast, but if it weren't for Ariadne's help, he would have been trapped in that labyrinth forever. In short, yet another hero who wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, I'm probably being a bit harsh. I mean, we do owe him the foundations of Athens. In other words, the Republic. Render therefore unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Wrongly positioned, I am the blind hero.
I wasn't expecting an inscription like that. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. It's as long as a finger. I'd say between 6 and 8 centimeters. I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma.
And this is subtle, but, you know, a noticeable thing if you've studied your art history. This is not, in fact, a Greek statue, but it's a Roman replica of one. Greek statues were freestanding and required no supports to be able to stand, whereas this one, Romans usually had a tree stump or something else to support the standing figure. Yeah, the Romans couldn't figure it out. Don't know why.
Minos, son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete.
Who won it from his
Married to
brothers.
Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue.
When he won, he asked the gods to give him a wonderful creature to sacrifice in their favor, and Poseidon sent him a snow-white bull. When it arrived the next day, he thought it was the most beautiful creature that had ever existed.
Sister sealed his fate.
And he couldn't sacrifice it, so he sacrificed another, figuring Poseidon wouldn't care. And Poseidon said, no, fuck that. You're going to give me what you said you'd give me, and then cursed his wife to fall in love with the bull, which would then become the source of the Minotaur.
In mythology, King Minos was known as a wise and just king, despite the fact that he deceived Poseidon. As punishment, his country was devastated by the white bull of the sea god, and his wife became passionately in love with it. From their union, Asterion was born, sadly known to us as the Minotaur. The illegitimate child, the child of shame, who had a sorry fate. And to think that Minos ended up as a judge of the underworld. Decidedly, the high and mighty always managed to get away with it.
Yeah.
The crack is in the region of the heart. It's a thin crack as long as a finger. A blade could easily enter.
Thing is figuring out the right one. Carmelite water, that's always good. The Minotaur.
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae. Asterion was a son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos.
Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens, it wasn't he who was punished, it was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation.
I gotta know.
Technically, Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
I am the cursed child. This statue has a crack in it.
Oh, several others.
The crack is thin and about as long as a finger. I should be able to thrust in my sword.
All of which...
Let's go.
Fits with all the others. But this one has 2 others already in it as well. So the question is... which... But there's another statue yet.
Icarus.
Son of Daedalus.
The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings.
After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity.
Shit. There's no sword in this one.
Going.
Question is, which? Oh, hello. Carmelite water. This leads back out to the front. I can't put the sword here, but there was something that could be pointed out about it. So I'm loath not to know.
Icarus.
Okay, it's going to repeat that info first.
The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. Hey, there's no crack here.
Something I'd already noticed. Well, shit.
Well, let's keep going.
Okay. So the question is, which one's right? We have the daughter who was betrayed by her hero. We have the architect. We have the king who basically got away with it. We have the beast that was slain. There's one I'm missing, I feel. Yeah, okay, I didn't check this one.
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete.
Yes, that's something most people who just casually know their Greek myth don't realize, is that so much of it was connected. I mean, daughter of Perseus, which most people know Perseus from Clash of the Titans. It was all connected. Of course, most people know the story of Icarus and, flying too close to the sun. But Icarus was put in that position because of the work he did with his father, which was spurned on by the Minotaur, which wouldn't exist without Daedalus, because that's something that's often mentioned in the myth, is that Daedalus built the device for the queen that would allow her to consummate her relationship with the bull.
I seem to recall that her fate was not something you'd want. She was punished for the sins of her husband. She had to mate.
And it has no...
Poseidon. 9 months later, she gave birth to Asterion, better known as the Minotaur. It's crazy to see to what extent women have always been mistreated. When they're not harpies, gorgons, and other witches, they become victims.
So,
right.
There's also no crack on this one. So, she was punished for something that wasn't her fault. And Icarus, while he did fly too close to the sun, he was only in that position because of his father as well. But none of them would have been put in that position, including Daedalus. Golden Elixir. Icarus wouldn't have done it without Minos, Orion. Theseus was trying to save his people from the sacrifices that were being asked of them by Minos. If I had to choose someone who was the most deserving of a sword in their chest, it'd be Minos.
Minos. The crack is in the region of the heart.
And he's also the... well, technically, both the Minotaur and Minos are offered coverage by the building. Everybody else is out in the, just out in the wild. The big thing is, if I get this wrong, even if I can do it again, it'll be noticeable. Because it's going to basically prick my hand. But the logic of all this and knowing the mythology, everything, all of this, all these people are here because of Minos' decision. And he, again, as they put, he became a judge in the underworld despite everything he did. And I was right. Oh, that's not a good sight. See, if the Bible puzzle had been like this, which, I mean, I guess it kind of goes to show you I know my Greek mythology better than I know my Bible. Analytical. Honest. Methodical. Solve the enigma of the labyrinth at the first attempt. Which I have all of the traits I could get from this episode, so points to that. Oh, he's having another vision. I gotta assume that's what he's... Yeah, his nose is bleeding. I mean, I said, part of it is I always found Greek mythology much more interesting. And, you know, it was stories of heroes and monsters, but, you know, with the great, you know, subtlety and everything beneath it.
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out.
Interesting.
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days.
Yes. The Bible was expertly written in the many times it's been rewritten. But, and
let's see if
had a lot of
you're in there, Mother.
Valuable lessons that could be taken from it, assuming you take it as allegorical tales with lessons, morals to be learned from it, rather than literal truths. But, which, again, to say this out there, my opinion, you guys, anybody hearing this can decide to do things however which way you want. It's no big deal to me what you choose. Plus it was also the way things were written.
Bandages. Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes.
Well, shit. I got nothing to be able to check in that for. Ooh. That's not pleasant. It's one of the servants. But to tell Lord Mortimer what we found would also reveal that we'd been in his secret room.
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Uh-oh. That camera angle is not good. It suggests somebody else is coming in.
Don't move!
Wait, I'm not armed.
Who are you?
Good God, Mother, what have you...
Tell me who you are!
Well then, found his mother. And she's very distrustful if she doesn't recognize her son. Could have inspired Peru to trust me. Because I chose the wrong thing, which, you know, that's my fault. Okay, I have 4 more points to give. Gotta think of use. Etiquette. I go with science. Science gets 2 of them. Can I boost anything else with it? No, I can't complete anything. That gives me level 2 science. In fact, I've chosen with my occultist path. Let's see. 2 points won't put anything else up. Logic, psychology, vigilance. Erudition. Do I want to put another point in logic and bring it closer to being upgraded? Or do I want to put it somewhere else? Maybe vigilance. If I do that, then I can potentially upgrade both of them on the next one. That, I believe, finishes episode 2, Into the Lion's Den. Interesting. I've gone through the credits on the last one, so we're going to skip this one. Plus, it's been a bit already. I was hoping there'd be some more a little tease into what was coming next. So, 7 chapters in. In fact, that was Gorgon, the maze. We've definitely had a fair amount of Greek in there, but that was interesting. We discovered a lot of potential information. The biggest downside I would say to all this was the Bible puzzle, and simply because you could do it through just trial and error, but it would take a long time to do. And that last bit of it, either I missed something else that hit it, or there was some esoteric thing that should have been remembered. They didn't put in the reminders up at the top, which I think is kind of a downside of this. That would be my biggest negative on there, because I spent way too much time doing that rather than going along. But still, some nice, interesting revelations. Definitely very intrigued to know more what's going on. Oh. Okay, it'll have gone to the intermission screen for just a second, so sorry about that. But yes, it took me to the store. Anyway, thank you guys all for watching it. Those of you caught live here on Twitch, those of you made it this far on YouTube, everybody who sat through it, especially through that one section where I literally had to look it up. I had to watch somebody else's playing of it just to figure out which one chose. And even then, I still didn't understand the logic of that choice. Because again, I didn't watch the whole thing. I was jumping through. They may have known something I didn't. It's entirely possible. So, as always, I appreciate likes, follows, subscribes. Every little bit you guys do helps grow the channel a bit more, especially here on Twitch. My Twitter account at Link6413 is probably the best place to catch what I'm playing and when I'm playing it. I always tweet before I go live. There's always links to the YouTube channel when a new video goes up. I'm really looking forward to seeing more from this. This has been very intriguing. So far, I would say only one significant flaw. Yes, after the cat did things. I moved the fan closer so that way it would go back down, because it went up to 100. It had gone up to 102. I know, but I was wanting to keeping it. I didn't know how much I'd be able to look at things with this or whether I'd get you up, so I wanted to make sure it went down. Anyway, thank you guys all once again for watching. Hopefully, we'll find out more about episode 3 before long. It was, maybe 2 months? A month and a half between episodes? So, hopefully, mid-July or so, at least, we'll get another one. If not, unless they've accelerated production. So, we'll find out when we get to that. Hopefully, all go through this journey together. But thank you guys all once again. Hope you all have a great day and take care. Bye.